See, there's a parable, or there's a saying that goes, out of the frying pan into the fire. It means you might be escaping a situation that you feel is extreme, and that which you go to, or that which you transfer yourself into, turns out to be even more extreme, more harsh, than the one you left. USA is not a holy land. It's just a land that is occupied by humans like me and you. And humans, we have very weird behaviors. Humans are jealous. Humans are envious. Humans are full of hatred. Humans have a sinful heart. So going to USA is not the solution. I don't think it's the solution, and it won't work.
In a last attempt to send out a word of caution, a gentle reminder to my white Afrikaner friends, before you pack your bags, just a last word of caution to my fellow Afrikaner friends. Don't leave. Stay and build. Now I understand the frustration. I understand the fear, the sense that South Africa is becoming unlivable. But before you go, pause and reflect. Politically, leaving weakens the very institutions we say are crumbling. We lose our voice where it matters most. And let's be honest, many first world nations are now hostile to the very principles we hold dear. That is, our family, faith and legacy. Or these values rather. These values that we held dear is fading out in the West. So how about culture? Africa still values family, community, generational legacy. In many so-called developed nations, family values are being redefined beyond recognition. In my previous videos, some of you explained that you want a better life for your children. But do we really want to raise our children in cultures where God, truth, and family are sidelined? So what does the Bible say? God didn't promise ease, of course. He promised purpose. Now, I've said this previously. I've pointed out the scripture in many of my videos. Jeremiah 29 verse 7. Seek the peace of the city, for in its peace you will find your own. U is die sout en die lig van die aarde. You are salt and light here in Matthew 5, chapter 13 to 16. If the righteous leave, who will shine God's truth in South Africa's systems? Now, we have a covenantal responsibility like Esther. Perhaps you were born for a time such as this. Esther chapter 4 verse 14. And that is not to leave, but to intercede, to build, and to transform. Now, Afrikaners, my friends, this is still your land. Coming from a colored Afrikaner. This is still your land. Stay, rebuild, lead for the sake of your children and your children's children. I urge you to do that. I urge you to pause and reflect. God's purpose is still in South Africa. Leaving for the West may cost more than you realize. Now, is the grass really greener on the other side? The West is losing its soul. Don't trade Africa's values for Western values. This comes from my heart to your heart. You are more than victims. You are more than conquerors. Afrikaner culture has survived war, marginalization, and political defeat. Don't let fear erase centuries of heritage. Reshape it instead. A new legacy is possible. The world respects nations that reconcile and rebuild. Afrikaners can model what it looks like to live with humility, dignity, and peace right here in Africa. Now, interdependence is the future. The only sustainable path is co-building a new South African identity with all racial groups. Leaving delays healing, and it fuels mistrust. This is coming from my heart. It's just a short video, just to endeavor a last attempt to talk to you.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, Africans. So I did a video about what white Americans think of the white South Africans. I did a video about what black Americans think of the white South Africans moving to America. And now I never did a video about the white people thinking of the white people that are living South Africa, how they think of themselves, you know. And now there's a special individual with whom has come forward, and this special individual, he's saying why it will not work. What will not work, you might ask yourself. Probably you know. Trump calling the Afrikaners to USA. It might not work due to a number of factors. First of all, the reason why they are leaving is not for the right reasons, you know. They are leaving because they feel the privilege, I mean, has been ripped off from them. They feel ripped off of that privilege, or they are slowly losing it, and they just don't have the guts to face it when it will be fully full blown, that they don't have white privilege no more, because day and day Africa is reawakening. Traore is a huge living example of why this is true, right? Now I'm looking back and I'm thinking that because black people are asking for equality does not make white people targets, you know. What we require as black people, even though I don't live in South Africa, is just for equality, right? We don't need to hate ourselves that much. We need love, we need tender love, we need care, we need justice, we need equality. We don't need any form of racism that targets us. And racism in itself, reverse or forward, you may call it, is not a thing that we want to entertain, right? So some of these white people are calling this reverse racism. But is it really reverse racism? No. Why is it reverse racism if Africans are wanting to have their land back? Because this land is belonging to Africans. It's for Africans, and Africans wanted to share it. The problem is that in the event of us wanting to share, they took it all, you know. That is the problem. So this individual is delivering such an important, you know, thought process that really shows, and it showcases the situation of these black people, of these white people and black people in South Africa, and he's giving a perspective of an Afrikaner who decided to stay instead of going to USA. I believe we have to listen to him. I shall get back after listening with a deeper critical analysis.
Hello Afrikaners, you have had a huge day behind you. I would love to do this video in Afrikaans, but because the majority of us speak English here in the US, yes, that is now one of the main language that you will be speaking. So please bear with me, and I would love to share with you a couple of cultural things that might come as a shocker to you. So the first few things that you might notice when you come here to the USA, or now that you have arrived, is that you do not speak the same English as Americans. Americans have their own English, and that makes the adventure all the more exciting because you learn a whole new vocabulary, a whole book full of new words that is ahead of you. Also, the currency is very different. It's difficult to understand what's a quarter, what's a dime, what's a penny. So a penny is 1 cent, a dime is 5 cents, then you have a 10 cent, which I can't remember, a nickel. And then you have a quarter, which is 25 cents. So 4 quarters make $1, but you also get the $1 paper note. And if you're lucky, you might find a $2 paper note somewhere. What else is different? Oh, it's the beginning of summer. Schools will be out within the next week. The school that I work at will be out within the next week. And summer starts. We have 3 months of summer vacation that is coming our way, and it is glorious, and it is hot. It is super hot. So make sure you drink lots of water. That's another big thing in America, is everyone always walks around with water bottles because hydrating is very important. Sunscreen, super important. Wear a hat when you're outside. Another thing, do not walk bare feet in stores. I know in South Africa, we enjoyed going to town bare feet and no one bats an eye, but hey, the stores might not help you if you are not wearing shoes. So make sure you and your children always wear shoes when you go to town and go shopping. Then, oh, jobs. It's very easy to find a job. If you see a place that's hiring, you can go in and you can practically be assured that you will get a job, because you will not be discriminated against. You will not be discriminated against because of your skin color. No one is going to look at you weirdly. And if they look at you weirdly, it might be because of your accent. So, in order to help people understand you better with your very thick Afrikaans accent that you now have, you can speak a little slower. They don't mind if you speak slower. It's a secret I found out. That's a tip that I figured out myself, because sometimes when I spoke to people, when my accent was still really thick in the beginning, they didn't quite understand what I was saying, and a lot got lost in translation. So what I would do is, if I saw that, because you can literally see when people struggle to understand you, what you do is just speak a little slower and ask them, does that make sense? And if it doesn't, try to explain. In the beginning, I had to look up so many things on Google for pictures of things that I was talking about. It was frustrating, but now, 3 years later, we have pretty much assimilated really well, and people really understand us really well. What else is different? Oh, get into your community immediately. Get involved immediately. That really, really helped me a lot when we came here, was to just get out of the house, get into the community, greet people friendly, use your manners, because listen, us Afrikaners are well known for our good manners and our friendliness, okay? I've heard that from almost every single American. They say that our children have great manners and we have great manners and we're very friendly, so they love us. And yeah, just get into your community, get involved, volunteer. Volunteering is a huge thing here. So for me, I am on our city chamber board, and we plan a lot of the events like the 4th of July and the rodeo, and we plan the annual chamber awards of our town. Yes, in our town, people actually get awards for like being a good employee, or actually being a great volunteer, or pioneering business, and those kinds of things. So it's awesome. You are actually acknowledged for the work you do over here, and people see that. So get out of the house and get into the community, and if people struggle to understand you, just speak a little slower, be friendly, and be kind. Just be yourself, because I know that you are friendly and you are kind, and that's why you will fit into the USA's culture perfectly. And then, oh yeah, sign your kids up for the sports. It's summer, so it's baseball and softball and Babe Ruth. So baseball has Little League, and Babe Ruth is the little older boys, like from 13 and up is Babe Ruth. And then softball is for the girls of various ages. And then there's Coach Pitch, which is the kindergartners, and I think up to, what's it, first grade, second grade, I'm not sure. My kids are big now, but nevertheless, get involved in the sports. And then by fall, or autumn as we know it, by autumn, which is around August, you have football. Get your children to take part in the sports and be productive in your community. And that is how you get to know the people, and how the people get to know you. Because remember, you are now, they don't know you. You sound different, you look different, and that can be scary for people who don't know who you are or where you come from. So just keep going. The next 4 months are going to be really, really, really difficult. There are going to be days where you think you made a mistake. But I want to encourage you today and say you did not. Now, just about 3 years after coming to the USA, we have really assimilated well. We have great jobs. We have a wonderful house that we live in. We have fantastic neighbors. We have an amazing community that we live in. We live in a rural part of America, and I absolutely love it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It's quiet. People are friendly and kind and welcoming. It feels like one huge family. So I say it's our little special bubble on planet Earth here. Yeah, so that is just what I wanted to say today. Is the next 3-4 months are going to be a huge time of your life. After 4 months, it starts getting better. You're going to miss your family every single day. You are going to cry every single day, and that's okay, because you need to get rid of that tension that you had in South Africa, the daily looking over your shoulder, the daily being in fight or flight mode, the daily fearing for your life, the daily just the constant worry about where's the next meal or the next job gonna come from and everything. And so you are basically probably going to cry every single day. I did when we came here, even though it was God's plan for us to come here, and I believe 100% it's God's plan for you to be here too. So cry it out, get rid of it. You're going to sometimes still feel like you need to hold your kids as close as possible and latch onto them to keep them safe. But I want to encourage you today, you are safe and you are free, and no one is going to discriminate against you here. No one is going to tell you to go back to Europe. Everyone here is going to welcome you. So yeah, I want to reiterate that Americans love Afrikaners, and they are very happy that you are here, and they are very excited for those who are coming. See y'all soon.
South Africans are saying only 49 Afrikaner refugees on the first flight to America. Only 49, it's so few. But remember, in 2022, Charlize Theron reported that there were actually only about 44 Afrikaans speakers left in the world, which means they've actually gone up from 44 to 49. They found 5 more. That's an 11% population increase. In just 3 years, the Afrikaner population has exploded. Well done, guys.
When I say certain people have the complexion for protection, this is what I mean. These are the white South African refugees that are coming to the United States after Elon Musk lied and spread misinformation on Twitter, saying that these white South Africans were experiencing G-side by the political party in charge. Here's the timeline of events. On July 31st, 2023, Elon Musk tweets they are openly pushing for G-side of white people in South Africa. Then he tags the president of South Africa and says, "Why do you say nothing?" So as you can see, Elon Musk has been fueling this fire and spreading this misinformation for fucking years now. Fast forward, Elon Musk spends $300 million getting Donald Trump elected. Donald Trump wins. And the first day in office, January 20th, 2025, when he gets inaugurated, Trump signs an executive order ending the refugee admissions program. An executive order that basically says the United States lacks the ability to absorb large number of migrants, and in particular, refugees, because of the availability of resources for Americans. Essentially declaring that the refugees coming to the United States were competing for resources against Americans. Elon Musk then uses the power of being in Trump's ear all the fucking time and up his ass and turns Trump against South Africa. Even though the claims of white G-side are ruled not real by a South African court, literally 4 days later signs an executive order called Addressing Egregious Actions in the Republic of South Africa, where he cuts off all funding to South Africa. Then he fast-tracks white South African citizenship while rejecting all other refugees. Here's where the story gets better. Here's where I say that they had the complexion for protection, because these white South Africans are descendants of mainly Dutch and French colonial settlers who first came to South Africa more than 300 years ago. They were at the heart of the apartheid government that systematically oppressed non-whites. Yeah, they're the ones who get to come here on an air-conditioned plane, walking through the airport, welcome to the United States, given flags for a fucking photo op. Meanwhile, the Afghan refugees who helped the U.S. military during the U.S. military operations in Afghanistan are in dangerous limbo after the Trump administration ordered a pause on the refugee resettlement program. Meanwhile, this is how Black Haitian immigrants are welcomed to the United States. Meanwhile, other refugee populations that are non-white, this is how they come to the United States. I'm not saying that motherfuckers gotta look like their story or look like they struggled, but there's a clear differentiation between people who have valid concerns, valid refugee claims, and seeking asylum versus these motherfuckers that are coming in shorts and look like they're well-fed and look like they have good clothes on their fucking backs. And if you really want to deconstruct all the fucking hypocrisy all the fucking way, why is it that the reason that the U.S. refugee resettlement program was scrapped was because the refugees were competing for resources against Americans, yet the literal website that's helping them resettle into the United States is openly saying that these white South Africans are going to receive financial assistance, a one-time federal grant, $1,275 per person, cash assistance, supplemental nutrition assistance program, yeah, food assistance, food stamps, housing assistance, medical assistance, work and employment support. And to top it all off, they won't have to even prove that they were being persecuted. The complexion for motherfucking protection.
To all the South Africans that are getting ready to immigrate legally as refugees to the United States of America, let me just address a few things so you understand where you're coming to and how life works in the United States, just so that you can rest assured that the fears that you do have will be overcome by the joys of what America has to offer. For example, when I moved here, we earned $15 an hour. That's what I earned, $15 an hour. I managed to purchase my first house while having $15 an hour. We did rent for many months. We rented in a lovely suburb in Texas. We managed to purchase a car by going to the bank, and you'll notice the banks don't have 3-4 inch bulletproof glass in them. You actually sit down and talk to the other human being and have an open conversation. You show them what you earn and they give you a loan, and you start building yourself up. And I've even built myself up that I've managed to acquire a farm, acquire a couple of vehicles, acquire my own house, and really progressing forward. So even if you come to the United States, don't worry about all these people that are saying, oh, you're going to be truck drivers and you're going to work hard. Don't worry about them, because many of the leftists, the liberals in South Africa, are like crabs. If you put two of them in a bucket and one crab gets out, the other one just pulls them back in. So disregard them. Come over to the United States and feel what it feels like to live in a country where you don't have a 10-foot fence keeping lions out, which I mean by criminals and murderers and rapists. You have the freedom of speech. You have the freedom to call the police and the police actually come. You have the freedom to apply for any job, that you're not going to be discriminated against according to the color of your skin. You can go into any field of work that you want. I wanted to be in the agricultural and golf segment, and now I'm a superintendent of a golf course, and I run a beautiful 150-acre farm. I work hard and I earn hard. So life is really good in the United States of America, especially under President Donald Trump. The world is your oyster. So you come here, you fly the American flag, you speak your native language, you speak English, your children will go to great schools where they get educated, they don't get picked on because of the color of their white skin. You can go to the bank, you can start a business, you can truly thrive in America. America is truly the land of the free, and it is the land of milk and honey. So it does feel different. Earning dollars and speaking to people who earn dollars, and they respect you, they love you. The church community in America is phenomenal. The hunger for God is real. And yes, we do have democratic cities, but you can just look at the state of the cities and you will understand what's wrong with them. They're led by communists and socialists, and they are falling apart, yes. But us here in the South, we are thriving. If you're looking for a job, I have positions open. The people around me have positions open. All you have to do is be yourself, show up on time, and be respectable. Luckily, that comes very easily as a South African. We show up on time, we work hard, and we earn hard, like I like to say. So for all of you who are coming over from South Africa in the second wave to embrace the American dream, get ready for it, because everything you put your heart to, you will and can achieve, because this is the land of the free and it is the land of milk and honey. If you put your mind to a business and you have a dream, you can come to America and you can earn that dream by hard work and trusting the Lord God Almighty.
For anyone who has any problems with refugees, I do not want to hear you talk about the South African white refugees and be like, they're coming here legally, it's fine, because their own government even says that they are not vetted. While Donald Trump says that they are completely vetted, that's 100% untrue, according to the South African government. They also said that the people that claim that they are being genocided are actually pro-apartheid, and that's why they're moving to the United States. And they're saying straight up that it is a move for political advantage. The South African government also came out and said that it's really ironic that Trump is allowing the most economically privileged people from around the world to enter the United States while denying the most vulnerable people who are trying to immigrate to the United States. Like, let's be clear here. These people are becoming refugees to the United States specifically because they are upset that people are upset in South Africa, that they are pro-apartheid. And yet Donald Trump will not accept any refugees that are actually coming here for detrimental circumstances. Again, it's just racism. That's all it is.
The population in South Africa is 90% black, but black people in South Africa only own 4% of privately owned land in the entire country. But somehow Trump is convinced that these 59 white South African refugees deserve to be housed and fed on the taxpayer dollar in the United States because they were being discriminated against in their home country. It makes me so fucking sick to see that in the same week that a 16-year-old girl had her face slammed into the concrete by ICE because she was brought here as a minor into the United States by her parents, that our taxpayer dollars are simultaneously being spent on an expedited refugee process for white people in South Africa, where they only make up 10% of the population, but they own 96% of the fucking land. Are you kidding me? And their justification is that they believe that white people are being genocided in South Africa. So all of a sudden they have a problem with genocide. Meanwhile, the United States is literally funding a genocide in the West Bank. And for the record, that's not even happening in South Africa. It's been disproven and debunked multiple times. And it's just Elon Musk spreading right-wing bullshit, white supremacist bullshit, as usual. That's all this is. It's just white supremacist bullshit all over again. I'm so tired.
Guys, I'm still at the forest. Yes. Now, let's talk about the Afrikaner who was just given his thoughts about the Afrikaners, not Africans. The Afrikaners with the K and the double A, not Africans, who just left South Africa for USA. The man just said it won't work. But let's cross our fingers, let's be optimistic, let's believe it shall be okay. Because what else shall we do? We should just believe and cross our fingers and say, it shall be okay. Yes, it shall be okay. But we know crime is not bias. Crime does not choose race, color, or what. Violence is also not bias. Violence in this instance, you know. We see even CEOs being unalived. CEOs, the whole CEO. You've seen those cases. Police officers being run over. White police officers. So I'm coming back and I'm thinking, it is better to just live where you are, you know. Make the grass greener where you are. Don't look at your neighbor's lawn and you wonder how green it is and yours ain't. Appreciate that which is yours. Love it, plow it, and cultivate it. It shall become green, or possibly greener than that which you think. Afrikaners moving to USA is not the solution here. It's really not the solution. Trump is having an agenda for all this. Trump is very strategic. He's having an agenda. Later on, we will have that F around and find out. Yeah, it shall come to happen. Trump has proven many times he has many masks. He peels one, another one develops. He peels another, another one develops. So Trump is not 100% a man to be trusted. Yeah, that is my thought. That is what I think. I think violence is not bias. The same way USA is violent is the same way Africa is violent. As long as we have the creatures called human beings, it will never be the same for all of us. Yes. This is EFK Original Documentaries. If you like what I do, subscribe. You know I will surely appreciate. And see you in the next one.